And let's give this next problem a shot here. So first things first, we're going to read that question sentence, and it says, what is the total amount that you pay? Okay, cool. So my party people here, it looks like we just want to know what that final amount that we pay is. But as of right now, before we actually read this up here, we don't know yet if we are trying to apply a tax, a discount, a tip, a markup. We don't know any of that yet. So when we read the question sentence, just know that you want the final amount. And when we read through the information, that's going to help navigate us through how we're going to get there. So here it says a restaurant bill is $84 and you leave an 18% tip. What is the total amount that you pay? Okay, so when we think about this, everybody, if we're trying to get that total amount based on the context that we see here, is it fair to say that we want to take this $84 and then add whatever an 18% tip is? Is that fair to say? Yeah, I think so too. So that's what we're thinking of here. I'm thinking of, hey, I'm going to take that $84 and I want to add on to it whatever the tip amount was. And so to find out what that amount of the tip is, we're actually in a pretty convenient position because, hey, we have the percent of the tip and we have how much the original bill was. So we can use that right there, full stop, and we can get the amount of the tip right away. So let me write that down over here. The tip over here is going to be 18% of $84. And so what that's going to turn into is we're going to take the decimal here, move it twice to the left to convert that percentage. So that'll be 0.18 multiplied by 84. So let's go ahead and calculate this over here. 84 multiplied by 0.18. Move that over slightly. And here we go. 4 multiplied by 8 is 32. Carry the 3. 8 times 8 is 64. Carry the 3 is 67. Next up, we'll go ahead and place a 0 so we can move things over. Then we have 4 times 1, 8 times 1. Add that all together and we have 2, 11, carry the 1. 6 plus 8 is 14, carry the 1 is 15. So we have 15, 12. We're going to go ahead here and take the decimals back. 1, 2. And we have $15.12. So remember, everybody, it's not about celebrating the first correct calculation that you do, because that'll trick you. It'll make you believe that the answer is C when in fact it's not. The tip is $15.12. The tip itself. To get the final amount, we would have to add that tip to the original bill, and that's what'll give us the final amount. And that's right over here. $84 and no change plus $15.12. Bring this together now, so we'll have 12 cents at the end. 9 right there, 9 right there. And that's $99.12. That is the proper final answer. That'll be answer choice B. Another way that we could have done this was adding the 18% tip to 100%. And that would have been 118%, or 1.18 multiplied by $84. This would still work. That would still get you the same correct answer. But here's the reason why I didn't actually go that route. Everybody, you tell me in the chat box, yes or no, for you personally, is it easier for you to add one number at the end, or is it easier for you to multiply by a 3-digit number? What's easier for you? To add one number at the end or to multiply by a 3-digit number? Yeah, and if you're saying add, you are with the vast majority of students who agree. Yeah, adding is a lot easier than multiplying by a 3-digit number, but either way, this will still get you the same correct answer. Feel free to verify with a calculator. I promise you, same exact one. But nonetheless, everybody, the correct answer here is $99.12. All right, so next question, we're going to begin by reading that question. Always, always, always. So it's a long question here. It spans 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. So we're really going to have to pick this apart. Let's do it carefully. So when train A has been moving 8 hours and train B has been moving 5 hours, how far apart are they if A averages 65 miles per hour and B averages 80 miles per hour? Okay, that's a lot of numbers, a lot of words. But everybody, what phrase do I really want to focus on out of all of this? Out of all of this, what do I really want to focus on? What phrase should I underline? Yeah, how far apart? Right here. How far apart are they? That's really what I care about. And that tells me that we're looking for a distance. So I can always begin an overwhelming process with something simple. Just understanding, hey, what do I want to find out? What are they telling me to look for? How far apart? Okay, distance. That's what I'm looking for. Now I noticed that they gave me some information here. Train A, 8 hours. Train A, 65 miles per hour. Then we also see train B, 5 hours. Train B, 80 miles per hour. But there's one little detail that's going to bring all of this together. Whether you're thinking of, hey, should I add or subtract, multiply, divide, what should I do? This is where you find that out. You're going to look at the first sentence, and it's going to say 2 trains leave the same station. So they began from the same point, but they began at different times. They also travel in the same direction. So the different times, we'll take that into account. And I think that's fair to say right here when we see 8 hours versus 5 hours. So I see where that's coming from. But what I really want to pay attention to is right here in purple. Same direction. When we travel in the same direction, everybody, what can we do with the distances and rates of the individual objects? We can subtract, absolutely. When objects are moving in the same direction, we can subtract to cancel out that common ground. So with that, let's take a look at train A. Train A, 8 hours, 65 miles per hour. Rate equals 65 miles per hour. Time, 8 hours. We also see train B. Train B, we have the rate being 80 miles per hour. And we also have that time being 5 hours. So let's calculate here, and then we will subtract. We'll subtract to, again, get rid of that common ground. So here we go. We'll have the distance being 65 multiplied by 8 over here. And let's go ahead and perform that. 5 times 8 gives me 40. 6 times 8 gives me 48. And we'll carry that 4, giving me 52. So we have 520 right here for the first distance. Then we have the second distance for train B. We have 80 multiplied by 5, which is a slightly easier process. That'll give us 400. 8 times 5 is 40. Bring that extra 0 at the end. And like we said, because they're moving in the same direction, starting from the same spot, we can subtract those distances, because that's going to give us just this part over here. Just that is what we want. So 520 minus 400, that's going to leave us, my party people, with 120 miles. That reflects answer choice B, and that is the distance between these two trains after those time periods of movement.